I think you said everything. But very happy to be here once again, and of course, big thank you to Bank of Baroda and all the other sponsors. It is the need of the moment, as we know. I mean, we have a summit, environmental summit that is starting, I think, today in BKC, and it's all. And we've had so many summits like this, so many conferences, and the whole world is talking about the same thing for the last many years. And of course, it is up to each one of us. We all look at the problem and we say it's huge. But the thing is that the problem has been created by all of us. It's not created by one entity or one government or one corporate. It is our demands of the public, what the public wants. So on the one hand you have progress, on the other hand you have a responsibility. So what do each one of us do? We have to think about the things that we consume. Do we really need these things? Do we really need these things? Because every single thing we consume adds to pollution. Everything. So you have to think about all the things that you consume and say which are the things that are necessary for me and which are not. And make those choices. And these are hard choices, but each one of us has to make these choices. It's not about cycling. It's not about exercise. It's that, of course, if you're really interested in your own health, you will do it for yourself. It's not about the environment, you'll do it for yourself. But when it comes to the environment, each of us is a consumer. Think of yourself as a consumer. How much am I consuming? So there's a very famous quote by Mahatma Gandhi. He said, the earth has enough for every man's need, but not every man's greed. And that is so relevant today. Everybody knows that. It's written about all the time that we've become a very consumerist society. We keep buying and buying and buying and disposing and disposing and disposing. Right? So of course it's good for the economy, but is it good for the environment? So we don't need to think about that. Just think about, am I doing what is necessary? Even for myself. What is necessary? And consume that much. That's something that you can begin to think about. We have been actually trained to consume. The whole world now is trained to consume, to buy new things all the time. But as individuals and with our own intelligence, we have to figure out what is necessary for ourselves. So I'll give you an example. For me as a runner, I started marathon running 20 years ago. Right? In 2003, I registered for the first Mumbai marathon. And I did the half marathon. And of course I was wearing shoes and I got hooked to running because I just felt so amazing at the age of 38 that I could run 21 kilometers without stopping. It was an amazing feeling. I felt so empowered. And I was wearing shoes, but after a few years, after you begin to explore and think about it, about what you're doing, what is the best way to do this? What is the most efficient way to do this? How can I improve my running? And I started exploring how it would be to run without shoes. Because running is a natural activity. You shouldn't need shoes to run. So I started running very slowly without shoes. Maybe just started with 500 meters. I was already running marathons. I had run from Delhi to Bombay in 2012. But I started running 500 meters without shoes. And I discovered, in fact, that my entire style of running began to improve. My efficiency as a runner began to improve. My recovery after each run began to improve. So I decided that why would I need shoes? And they're very expensive. 20,000 rupees for a pair of shoes, which I don't need. So I stopped wearing shoes completely. I do another run which is in August, which is about 300 or 400 kilometers. I do it without shoes. So it is up to us to explore, introspect, understand what exactly are our needs, and try to keep those needs to a minimum. That is the biggest way in which each one of us can help to mitigate this environmental crisis. So when it comes to the green ride, of course, everybody doesn't need to do that. Everybody doesn't need to cycle 1,000 kilometers or 1,000 miles or run 300 or 400 kilometers. Just do a little bit, whatever you can. One thing that you do, as Sir mentioned, one thing that you do is going to change the world. One thing. Just imagine, one small thing will already change the world. And that is the message that I want to give. People talk about the environment as something separate, but we don't realize that we are part of the environment. If the environment suffers, we suffer. And we can see those results already. There are a lot of research going on that is showing us how human beings are becoming weaker and weaker from generation to generation. And it's only the choices that we're making for us as individuals. So when it comes to our own health, if we are healthy, then our society will be healthy, our nation will be healthy, the world will be healthier. We will make healthier choices and then probably not consume as much because we don't need it. What happens when you're healthy is, healthy begins in the mind. Fitness begins in the mind. It creates a positive mindset. Health is positive. Very, very positive. You begin to choose things that you need to do. You begin to prioritize things that are necessary when you're healthy. You might not know, but there is research that shows from the time somebody leaves college, or school, if you're not already overweight, by the time you're kind of steady in your job, which is about 35 or so, the average weight people put on is 20 kilos. The average weight. I've met people who come to me because they've lost the weight. They say, I've lost 40 kilos, I've lost 50 kilos, 60 kilos. And my question is, it's tough to lose that much weight. It takes huge amount of grit and dedication. But my question is, how did you put it on? How did you put it on? Where were you looking? What were you thinking? Till you put on 20 kilos, you didn't realize that something is the matter. Something is wrong. We are so disconnected with ourselves because we are trained. We're trained to, be educated in a certain way, go after a job, go after a career, go after a business, make money. But we forget ourselves. We forget what we've also been taught, that health is wealth. That without health, you cannot enjoy life. We forget that. So the idea is to become connected again. All these initiatives, hopefully, will remind people to be connected again. And it's not difficult. You can stop me whenever you want. A lot of people ask me, they say you're so fit, you're 57 years old, how do you manage to stay so fit? Where do you find the time? Because you're also doing movies and all the other stuff that you're doing. And I ask them, how much do you think I exercise every day? How much do you think I exercise every day? I never go to the gym. I exercise 15 to 20 minutes every day. You want to be fit? People think I'm fit, and I am fit. 15 to 20, come on, I'm doing 1,000 kilometers in 6 weeks. Like I said, fitness starts in the mind. I can even imagine this. To imagine it, you have to be fit. Yeah. To imagine, I can do this, you have to be fit. I exercise 15 to 20 minutes in a day, and not even at the same time. I wake up, I do 3-4 minutes, then before lunch, maybe another 30 seconds, 45 seconds, whenever I have time. Before tea, at tea time, around 2-3 minutes. Before I sleep, in the night, maybe 5-6 minutes. All together, 15-20 minutes. That's it. If you don't have 15-20 minutes, you'll be as fit as me. You don't have to be as fit as me. You don't have to do Ironman and Ironman and marathons and 1,000 kilometers riding. When I did the Green Ride last year, let me tell you, I had not sat on a cycle for 4 years. I got on the cycle and I cycled 1,000 kilometers. How did I do it? Just by regularly exercising a little bit every day, and over a period of time you maintain a level of fitness where you can say, I can do anything. I can climb any mountain, I can swim any sea, I can cycle 1,000 kilometers, I can do whatever I want. I cycled 1,000 kilometers last year comfortably. Only by doing this. I did not specifically train for it. I did not spend 2 hours in the gym. But because of regularly exercising a little bit every day, I was able to do that. So whoever is interested in being fit or being healthy, you must make that little bit of effort. It's not difficult. People think we don't have time. Who thinks you don't have time? Everybody should put their hands up because you all think you don't have time. I know that. But the fact is, you do have time. And the fact is that when something is a priority, like your health, you must have time. You must. Because what will you do without health? We have seen during the pandemic, the most people at risk were the people who had health issues. Right? So why do we invite that?
Why do we invite health issues? By neglecting the way our body functions. By neglecting our body and mind, we invite health issues. Then in the pandemic, we are most at risk. So, my advice or my message or just a tip, you wanted a tip, right? Is spend 4 or 5 minutes. Start with 1 minute. I would say start with 1 minute. I do push-ups every day, only for 1 minute. How many push-ups can I do in a minute? So if you start now, for example, if you're really unfit, you might be able to do 10 or 15, maybe. But if you keep doing it every day, eventually, and you increase very, very gradually, you'll be able to do 50, 60, 70 in 1 minute. And when you get to 70 push-ups in a minute, just see the level of fitness you have. In 1 minute, every day. That's it.